So, what is going on, YouTube? Your boy Sam from Team Zaraxon here, and today, guys, I'm coming at you with my SPACIAN Nebula NEOS deck profile for you guys today. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. Ever since I posted my Junk Speeder deck profile and also my updated Mask Hero deck profile, you guys have been requesting me like crazy to showcase you guys my Nebula NEOS deck profile. And I'm gonna show you guys right now. I've been playtesting this deck for quite some time now, and I actually cannot settle which build to showcase you guys. So, in this deck profile, I'm gonna be showcasing you guys the build that I actually prefer playing, which is this build right here, and also showcase you guys a secondary build as well. And throughout the video as well, once I showcase you guys the main core of the entire deck, I'll showcase you guys on which card to take out to play the secondary build. So the first version is a little bit more expensive than the second version, so I decided to give you guys a budget alternative for the second version in this exact same video. So hopefully you guys stay tuned for that. By the way, guys, if you guys want to help support the channel, make sure you guys get your 150,000 subscriber playmat today. I do free shipping to Canada and USA. International shipping may cost extra, so make sure if you guys want to help support the channel, make sure you guys visit the description box below to get full details on how you guys can get the mat. And guys, for those of you who do not know, I do have a Discord server, so if you guys definitely want to join that, the link is in the description box below as well. Alright guys, so since this deck profile is a two-part deck profile, that means I'll be showcasing you guys two versions in the exact same video. I'll be showcasing you guys the monsters that both deck will play, and the monsters shouldn't change, okay? Start off here to play, of course, double NEOS Dark Panther, double NEOS Grand Mo, double NEOS Air Hummingbird, and last but not least, the one NEOS Aqua Dolphin. This is the NEOS engine that I'm playing for both versions. I believe this is the correct ratio to actually play for the NEOS monsters. I believe that this is the perfect amount of NEOS monsters that you should be playing in the deck. Playing 3 of each NEOS in the deck can potentially help you brick, and you don't want to break with this deck because this deck already lacks in consistency issues. You can easily get access to these cards to the graveyard, so that way that your Miracle Contact can become live using cards like Convert Contact, which is really good. So I don't believe it's necessary to actually play 3 of each copy. To recap, each and every single NEOS monster's effect. Dark Panther effect means that you can target one monster your opponent controls. This card basically becomes that monster and it gains its effect, which is pretty good. NEOS Grand Mo, when it attacks the monster, you can use this effect to actually bounce that monster back to your opponent's hand. Air Hummingbird reads that for each card in your opponent's hand, you gain 500 light points. And NEOS Aqua Dolphin says that you can discard one card, look at your opponent's hand, and discard a monster out of their hand, which is pretty good. And next off, for your E-Hero monster, you're going to play, of course, triple Elemental Hero Prisma and double Elemental Hero NEOS. This engine is absolutely necessary for the deck. The reason being is because Elemental Prisma essentially becomes any of your NEOS in the deck, and also it becomes Elemental NEOS as well. Prisma is able to reveal Nebula NEOS. You can either dump Dark Panther, Grand Mo, or also Elemental Hero NEOS to the graveyard. Basically, since you're playing 2 Grand Mo and you play 3 Prisma, you're playing essentially 5 Grand Mos, because Prisma, if needs be, you can send Grand Mo to the graveyard. So this card can become Grand Mo's name for Nebula NEOS and things like that. And 2 NEOS is definitely the correct ratio in my personal opinion, because this card can always be recycled back into the deck using Miracle Contact, because Miracle Contact shuffles those fusion materials back into the deck, so that way that card's Elemental Prisma can never become dead. And since this deck is a Nebula NEOS turbo based deck, I am playing triple Side-Frame Gear Gamma. This card is absolutely broken. The reason why Gamma is broken is because Nebula NEOS says banish all cards on the field, okay? So once it summons during the end phase, you banish everything. Depending on how many cards your opponent has on their board, Nebula NEOS is going to draw X amount of cards. So if you were able to draw cards like Gamma to your hand during the end phase, you can actually negate any problematic monsters effects that your opponent tries to do during their turn, which is really good. Next off, for the spells that both deck plays, is triple Hero Lives. Very standard. Tutors out, Prisma directly from the deck, so that way that you can essentially have a free name on the board. Whether or not you'll be choosing NEOS, Dark Panther, or also Grand Mo. This card gives you access to your Elemental Hero names for Nebula NEOS. So Miracle Contact, essentially a Miracle Fusion. Basically what this card does is that you shuffle cards from your field, hand, or graveyard into the deck to basically fusion summon a NEOS Fusion monster from your extra deck. So basically what you're trying to do is try to send your NEOS monsters and also your NEOS to the graveyard as quickly as possible. That's why cards like Convert Contact and also Prisma is really important. And you activate this card, you shuffle your NEOS, Dark Panther, and also Grand Mo into the deck, and then you bring out Nebula NEOS directly from your extra deck, which is really good. So this card is your heart and soul of the deck, because you're going to be more than likely going to your Nebula NEOS using Miracle Contact. And next off, for your Pot of Greed cards, you're playing cards like Convert Contact. This card is broken as well. Essentially a Pot of Greed for NEOS. What this card basically does is that if you control no monsters, you have to control no monster, guys, okay? To activate Convert Contact's effect, you can basically send a NEOS monster from your hand and one from your deck to the graveyard and draw 2 cards. So the card essentially is a free Foolish Burial for your NEOS and at the same time gets you access to drawing 2 cards, which is absolutely incredible. So these cards are definitely a must-have in the deck. Next off, your extended cards to push for more damage. You're playing cards like Oversoul. Card is very, very powerful to ride back your Neos. A 2500 free beater is actually not even that bad, so Oversoul is really good and also helps you extend your combo plays. Last but not least, you're playing the Reinforced of the Army and also the Monster Reborn. So that's pretty much it for the monsters that both deck plays. Now I'm going to showcase you guys on the other monsters that I'm playing in the deck for this specific version that I'm about to showcase you guys. So that's pretty much for the spells. Let's go off to the part deck profile now. Alright guys, for this list that I'm going to showcase you guys, I am playing the best engine possible for the deck. Is the Sky Striker engine. Triple Sky Striker Engage, because this card is broken, and triple Sky Striker Hornet Drones. These cards are super broken in the deck. And the reason being why Sky Strikers are just so good in the deck is because once Nebula NEOS touches the boards and you draw X amount of the cards, if you're able to draw into your Sky Striker cards and during the end phase you banish everything, you pretty much have an explosive turn next turn, because if you draw cards like Engage, Hornet Drones, you're basically able to use them freely because you have no cards on the field. So these cards are just very, very powerful. And they get you access to your Link monsters. Link monsters are really broken in the deck because, you know, Engage is essentially a one-card Alistair. And to accompany this engine, I believe this card is absolutely insane, is Rescue Ferret. Card is super broken. I actually been playtesting this deck for quite some time, and a huge shout out goes to Lithium because I actually playtested these two versions and I got the idea from Lithium. He played Rescue Ferret in his specific build. Card is broken, guys. If you guys don't know what this card does, is that you can shuffle this card, you control into the deck, special summon monsters from your deck except Rescue Ferret, whose total level equals to 6 to your zones and link monster points to, but those summoned monsters have their effects negated, also destroy them during the end phase. You only use the effect of Rescue Ferret once per turn. So basically, if you want to Rescue Ferret and also Sky Striker Engage, you basically have an Alistair, and you can bring out 2 Neo-Spacian monsters directly from the deck to your Alistair zones, which is really insane. So basically, you go Engage, climb into your Alistair, summon Rescue Ferret, activate Rescue Ferret's effect, shuffle into the deck, special in 2 Neo-Spacian monsters. Okay, and then you can make another Link monster, and if you have a Miracle Contact, you can go Miracle Contact, which is really, really insane. So this engine is the engine that I definitely prefer, over obviously the second deck profile that I'm going to showcase you guys. But I understand that the Sky Striker engine is not the engine for everyone. I understand that there's a lot of budget players that watch my videos, so I want to give you guys a secondary alternative to actually play instead of the Sky Striker engine. But for those of you who do have Sky Striker engine and can get access to them, I recommend you guys playing this engine because it makes the most sense. Think about it, guys. Like, once Nebula NEOS wipes the board, alright, you have Gammas in your hand, and you have Engage in your hand for next turn. So next turn, you're killing your opponent regardless. Alright? So, let me know what your thoughts are. Being able to access cards like Borrow Sword, Borrow Load, Link Climb into Phoenix, Link Climb into Unicorn, I believe is one of the most, powerful engines that this game has to offer. Because once Nebula NEOS comes out and wipes the entire thing, you pretty much need to go explosive next turn. You need to kill your opponent. And Sky Strikers and also Rescue Ferret gives you access to that. I actually might even want to bump Rescue Ferret up to 3 because of how powerful it is, in my opinion. But anyways, this engine is what I'm playing for this specific deck. And I'm also playing double Infinite Impermanence for your trap cards. And Infinite Impermanence is very powerful, is because once Nebula NEOS wipes the board, you have Impermanence in your hand. Infinite Impermanence cards like Gamma will always become live because you have no cards on the board. So these cards are just really good. But I understand that this is a very expensive engine that not everyone can have access to. So this is the secondary alternative that I actually recommend on playing. So I will take out these 11 cards that I showcase you guys right here for the second version I'm going to showcase you guys. So for the monsters, you guys want to play cards like Element of Year with Shadow Mist. Alright guys, remember, all the other monsters that I showcased you guys before, the other half of the deck is what both decks are going to be playing. So you're going to be playing Element of Shadow Mist for the secondary version, Element of Honest Neos. Shadow Mist is really good because for those of you who actually brick, which I experience a lot with this deck has a lot of consistency issues. So if you're actually able to go Hero Lives first turn to get access to Shadow Mist, and then, to be able to search your, Mass Change directly from your deck, you have a first turn Dark Law, which is a very good Sun card in today's metagame as well. You can also play cards like E-Call, more of a budget-friendlier version to get you access into your Prismas and things like that. One Foolish Burial, because Foolish Burial dumps, any name to the graveyard for Miracle Contact. One Contact Gate. The reason why I don't like playing Contact Gate in the main version is because you're only able to fusion summon once you use this card. But the main version that I showcased you guys can link summon and fusion summon. So I don't want to restrict myself using Contact Gate to be able to just restrict myself from fusion summoning, obviously. So this card is good in the secondary version, but it's not good in the primary version, in my opinion. So Contact Gate. And last but not least, you want to play the Miracle Fusion. Alright, to round off the cards that you're playing in the deck. So this is exactly 11 cards that you're going to take out. These cards right here Obviously, if you guys want to substitute, you guys can use these cards substituted for these, or substitute these cards and put it in for these. But I recommend you guys playing these version right here. But this version right here, guys, is more like a safer version and more budget-friendly version, because, you know, if you do brick, you can go Hero Lives, Shadow Mist, Search Mass Chains, set 1 pass, Dark Law, and then just stun your opponent. And you also have Elemental Hero Honest Neos to actually help protect, you know, your E-Hero monsters from getting killed, like Prisma. Sometimes you need Prisma to stay on the board for multiple turns. So, you know, protecting Prismas can also become really good. It's all up to personal preference on what you guys want to do with this specific version, but obviously if you're playing this version, your extra deck is going to change. Alright, so this is secondary version. Remember, guys, the first part of the deck profile, you're not changing anything. The only thing you're changing is these 11 cards right here for this specific version. So hopefully, I help you guys out. For those of you who are budget, you know, I mean, I did work hard on these 2 deck profiles, man. I couldn't decide which one to showcase you guys, because I want to showcase you guys the competitive side, and I also want to showcase you guys the budget side. But obviously, not everyone can be happy. So hopefully, you guys are happy with, you know, these 2 versions. You guys can do whatever you guys want, but just remember to use my deck as a guide to what you guys can play in your own deck. Let's go over to your extra deck. Alright, guys, start with the monsters for the primary deck. You want to play, of course, double Nebula Neos. You guys know what Nebula Neos does. Once you bring him out with Miracle Contact, you literally win the duel. Usually convert Contact if you resolve that. You usually win the duel anyways if you have Miracle Contact in your hand as well, which is really good. But Nebula Neos, once he summon, you basically you know, get to draw X amount of cards depending on how many cards your opponent has on the field. And during the end phase, you can basically return this card to the extra deck, banish all cards face down on the field, which is really good. A really interesting thing is that when this card is summoned, you can get to target one face-up monster on the board and negate its effect. So if you want this card to stay on the field, and if you know, have trap cards, or you're playing, you know, different cards in your side deck and things like that, you can summon this card and target itself to negate its effect, so that way that it doesn't banish everything that you control. But that's just, you know, one of the things that you might want to do. Elemental Hero Grand Neos, okay, right here, because you're playing Grand Mo in the deck. And then last but not least, 1 Elemental Hero Air Neos to round off for your fusions. These are all the fusion monsters that you're playing in the deck. I believe that you don't need any other fusion in the deck, in my personal opinion. So that's pretty much it for the fusion. If you guys want to throw in cards like Aqua Neos, cards like, you know, the Dark Panther Neos, I don't know the card's name, you guys can do it, go ahead and do that as well. But I decided to actually make more space for the link monsters that I'm playing into my extra deck. So that's pretty much it for the fusions. After the links, because you're playing Sky Strikers, Phoenix, Unicorn, Cerberus, Borreload, Borosword, Alistair the Invoker of Madness. Card is super broken because it points 2 arrows. And Rescue Ferret and Alistair is just GG. Obviously, double Kagari, you know, because you're playing a Sky Striker engine. 1 Sky Striker Ace Hayate, 1 Shizuku, and then last but not least, you're playing the 1 Side Frame, you know, Lord Omega to run off for your extra deck for the Link version that you're playing in the deck. So this is for version A, the one I actually recommend on playing, with the Sky Strikers, obviously. But if you're playing the secondary version with the Miracle Fusion and things like that, this is what your extra deck is going to look like. Alright, obviously, you know, for version B, you're playing cards like, you know, Omega. You know, for your fusion monsters, you're playing cards like Koga, because you're playing Mass Change, Adoration for Miracle Fusion, Double Dark Law for Miracle Fusion, no, not Miracle Fusion, for Mass Change, Absolute Zero for Miracle Fusion, Anki for obviously Mass Change, The Shining, Double Elemental Hero Nebula Neos, the Grand Neos, and then last but not least, obviously, the Air Neos for the secondary version. Very, very, you know, self-explanatory. These cards are your Miracle Contact targets, Miracle Fusion targets, and also your Mass Change targets, which is very, very awesome. Playing cards like Isolde and also cards like Summon Sorceress, which is very, very awesome. So that's pretty much it for the extra deck for the secondary version. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your thoughts are about Elemental Hero Nebula Neos deck. To be honest, one of the problems that I actually have with this deck is consistency issues. This deck isn't the most consistent deck because Neo SPACIAN, we're just missing so many support. You know, we need a card that just completely ignores summoning condition. We need a search card that search Miracle Contact. Like, there's so many things the deck is just missing, and it's just isn't consistent enough. But overall, it's just a very fun deck to play. And once you can pull up Nebula Neos, just look at your opponent's face, man. They probably have so much salt in there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys like this new kind of style when I can, you know, decide on which deck to showcase you guys. Boom, I showcase you guys 2-in-1 deck profile. Hopefully you guys like that. And this is Sam from Team Saracen signing out. Alright guys, peace.
I feel like Usain in the cheetah print. Talk fresh game, I don't need a minute. R.I.P. the game, I need a minute. Okay, let's proceed with it. I'm in the house, got the deed with it. These bozos always sneak this and they taking shots. I'm a king with it, like no, this league.